Morning, Karen.
Good morning.
Nice
to see you again.
And you. And thank you for having us here today and showing us around. And looking forward to obviously going through and finding out what benefits the nurse course have for you.
Yeah, that's great. It's a pleasure to see you again.
You.
Lovely,
Thank you.
So St Helena Hospice exists to help local people with an incurable disease to die with dignity and with choice. And we've been here in North East Essex and Colchester for just over 30 years. We look after patients who have got a terminal condition, and patients come here for symptom management or for end-of-life care. And we currently have 15 beds open, and we are full most of the time, and we have a very large waiting list for patients wanting to come into us. So I first came into contact with aid call when I started working here at the hospice just over 11 years ago as a nurse, and then I've worked my way through the ranks and am now the head of the Inpatient Unit, looking after the staffing and the patients. And a couple of years ago we had an issue with our current system, or our old system, in that it was quite old and it was quite noisy. It worked on a buzzer system. Patients would use their buzzer to contact a nurse, and that would go off 24 hours a day. So as you can imagine, during the night it was very, very noisy. So I contacted Paul, and he was able to tell me about the new system that worked on pages. Some patients are still mobile and able to be independent and want to go outside. So they are able to use their pendants. So they're able to go and sit out in our lovely gardens and still be able to contact the nurses. Other patients who are bedbound will need their buzzer system by their side, so that they are able to contact a nurse to come directly to them. So we want to be reassured that we are able to respond to our patients as quickly as we can. So having the new system with the pages enables us to know that the nurses are being contacted as soon as the patient presses their buzzer. The nurses are alerted to that call, and they're able to respond, go straight to the patient, to turn off the buzzer to find out what's happening. But also the other staff then are aware that somebody has responded to that call, and they can see from their pager that somebody's gone. Under the old system, the buzzers would go off and they would come up on the screen, and you may have more than one nurse go to attend to that patient, which was actually, time wasting for them, because, 2 or 3 people would go. Well, definitely the key feature for us was the system being silent. I've got to say that we had a few complaints under the old system, especially of a night time, patients not able to sleep because the buzzers are going off. And the other thing is, when a buzzer is continually going off, or 2 or 3 people are pressing the buzzer, somebody may feel, I don't want to press my buzzer because there's already buzzers going off. I'll just wait because people are busy. But with the system being silent, that means that anybody can call us because they don't know who else is calling. So that's a lovely feature for us. Also, we've got the screens, so I can walk down the corridor and I can see who is in which room, so that's good for me to be able to find a nurse.
So how did you find the initial installation of the new nurse call system and the transition between the old and the new?
Yeah, that went really, really well. Nurses are notoriously wary of change, and so there was some concern about the new system and how it was going to be for them. The system was installed on one day, so we went from the old system to the new system on the same day. We had some training before it was installed, and then we had some training on the day, and then we had some support for the next couple of days.
Brilliant. So this is our Therapies and Wellbeing Centre. It's called the Joan Tompkins Centre. It was opened slightly later than the original building, and it's for patients to come in for groups. Patients come in to experience a day of respite, a day of a group that may be around breathing, maybe for their heart condition, it may be for yoga, there may be a group some groups called Hands and Minds, there's groups, friendship groups, there is activity days, days where patients come in to have their hair done, etc. So it's, as I say, therapies and wellbeing rather than the inpatient unit.
And how do you find the flexibility of the system? Because obviously from my experience I know that you've added on separate, additional rooms or areas,
yes.
And of course across the pond here
yes.
we're going to add that on as well.
Yeah.
So how do you find that? Do you find that really useful for the system?
That's really helpful because obviously we are on two separate sites on the same development here. So we started off in Myland Hall with the nursing call bells. Then we moved into some rehab area because they thought that's great. It means that they can call for a nurse, and that means that the groups then don't have to be supported by a nurse, but they know they can call a nurse if they need them. So we added that on, and now we're looking to install it over in our therapies and wellbeing centre. We do have a pond between us, as you just said, but that still means that we're all in communication with each other.
Yeah.
And one of the things we found really helpful with that is that sometimes we have therapists working over there on their own, maybe at sort of after hours. It does mean that they've got their emergency, they can call over to this unit for some assistance. So that reassures the therapists that are working over there, so it's been great.